Today in Bible videos, we're going to learn about the story of God's judgment on Ahab's family. So let's get started. King Ahab and Queen Jezebel were both very wicked. They had murdered God's prophets and encouraged people to worship false gods. When they murdered an innocent man called Naboth to steal his vineyard, God sent the prophet Elijah to pronounce judgment on Ahab's family. Ahab was told, saying, "Dogs will lick your blood in the same place that Naboth died. Dogs will eat Jezebel, and your whole family are going to be wiped out." And 3 years later, war broke out between Israel and Syria. Ahab was very devious. He thought that if he went into battle dressed as a king, the Syrians might focus on attacking him. So he disguised himself as an ordinary soldier. When Ahab's troops charged into battle, Ahab rode his chariot just like all the other soldiers in chariots. However, an enemy soldier flew an arrow up into the air and came down and hit the king in a gap in his armor, and Ahab lost a lot of blood. Eventually, Ahab died. His chariot was brought back to the city to be washed clean. And guess where it was washed? It was washed in the same place that Naboth was killed, and dogs licked Ahab's blood just as God had said. But what about Jezebel? Didn't God say she would be punished too? 3 years passed and she remained queen. And sometimes God waits many years before he fulfills his word. God picked out a man called Jehu and sent the prophet Elisha to anoint him. Jehu's task was to kill all of Ahab's wicked family and become king. God told Elisha that dogs would eat the body of Jezebel as she and her family were so horribly bad. Jehu was keen to take Jezebel's crown, so he quickly gathered some fighting men and set off to rid the nation of the wicked family that had ruled over them and led them astray. The first member of Ahab's family Jehu went after was Joram. Jehu rode his chariot to face Joram in battle. Joram was hoping for peace, but Jehu told him, "There can be no peace as long as you keep behaving like your wicked mother." Joram knew he couldn't beat Jehu, so he took off in his chariot. But Jehu drew back his arrow and took aim. Whiz! Smack! The arrow went through Joram's heart. And Jehu ordered that the body of Joram be dumped in the vineyard which used to belong to Naboth. The next wicked person on Jehu's list was Ahaziah. He is the king of Judah, and he also fled from Jehu. Jehu sent his men after King Ahaziah. They caught up with him and wounded him, and Ahaziah managed to escape to the nearby city of Megiddo. Soon after the king reached Megiddo, he died. Now Jehu turned his attention to Queen Jezebel. He rode off to find her. When Jezebel heard Jehu was coming, she put on some makeup and tried to look as glamorous as possible. When Jehu arrived, Jezebel came over the window and tried to win Jehu over with her good looks. But Jehu wasn't interested. "Who is on my side?" he shouted, and 3 men who were near the queen raised their hands. And Jehu commanded them, saying, "Throw her down." And the wicked queen was hurled out of the window. She fell to the ground and died. Jehu had brought God's judgment on the wicked things that Ahab's family had done over many years. Jehu went inside to have a meal and a rest. After a while, Jehu said, "Go and bury that cursed woman Jezebel. She is after all royalty." Jehu's men went to find Jezebel's body where it had fallen to the ground. The dogs had eaten the body. Only the skull and bits of her hands were left to bury. Jehu's men came back to report what had happened. "Ah," said Jehu, "this is exactly what the prophet Elijah predicted many years ago. And when God says something is going to happen, it always does." The end. And I hope you had fun learning the story of God's judgment on Ahab's family. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up if you like this video and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.